Hey everyone, this is Hiro. How do you usually feed your Medaka? Today, I'd like to talk about how to properly feed Medaka based on my own experience and knowledge. Feeding fish is just a daily task. It's one of the real joys of keeping ornamental fish. Watching those little Medaka gather at the surface and eagerly nibble on food is such a relaxing moment. But at the same time, there are some important points to keep in mind. If you feed them the wrong way, it can harm their health or quickly pollute the water. So, in this video, I'll share some simple tips that beginners can put into practice right away, as well as a few techniques that experienced breeders often use. On this channel, I share the beauty of Japanese Medaka and aquarium culture with people all around the world. If you find this video helpful or interesting, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. The first thing you need to know is that Medaka don't have a stomach. Unlike humans, dogs, or cats that can store and digest food in the stomach, Medaka send food straight into their intestines. This means they can rarely store food inside their bodies. Because of that, the ideal feeding routine is 2 or 3 times a day, giving only as much food as they can fish right away. For example, a little in the morning, a little at noon, and again in the evening. This way, they can digest food without stress and there won't be much waste left behind. One common mistake beginners make is dumping in a big handful of food all at once. The leftover food sinks to the bottom, breaks down, and pollutes the water. That often leads to sickness or even sudden death. So always keep in mind, small portions multiple times. Now, what kind of food should you actually use? If possible, I recommend using food made specifically for Medaka. There are many good options available these days, carefully balanced with the right nutrition. If you can't find Medaka food, small tropical fish food can be used as a substitute. But here's one thing to watch out for. If the pellets are too large or if the food sinks too quickly, Medaka may not be able to eat it properly. For adults, it's best to choose floating food with small pellets. Watching them pick food from the surface is fun and reduces waste too. When it comes to fry, things get trickier. Their mouths are tiny, so the food has to be crushed into very fine particles. The easiest way is to use food made specifically for fry. But you can also crush regular food with the back of the spoon or between your fingers. The key is making sure it's small enough for them to eat. That said, thinking food is also sold for Medaka. I sometimes use it when I keep multiple strains together in the same tank. Some Medaka are bold and rush to the surface, while others are shy and prefer to hide in the shadows. By offering both floating and sinking food, I can make sure every fish gets a fair share. Let me share my own routine. For adults, I usually use the famous Hikari Gold Pack, a staple among Japanese Medaka keepers. It's floating food with excellent palatability and it's especially designed for breeding and egg production. It has plenty of protein and fat, which makes it very nutritious. Of course, richer food can sometimes foul the water more quickly, but in my experience, this one strikes a really good balance. That's why I rely on it a lot. For fry, I either use specialized powder food or crush the gold pack into fine dust. Fry grow very fast, and during that growth stage they need a variety of nutrients, so I pay extra attention to how I feed them. Of course, many other hobbyists and breeders have their own feeding styles. Some give tiny amounts of food 5 or 6 times a day. This is especially common when they want fry to grow quickly, or when they want to keep their breeding females producing eggs for longer. Professional breeders and shops often spend the whole day managing their fish, so it's easier for them to feed small amounts of many times. Others rely on food such as Daphnia, baby brine shrimp, or parmesan. These move around the water, so Medaka love to chase and eat them. They are very nutritious, and what's great is that they can stay alive in the water for a while. That means even if you are away from home, the fish still have food to eat throughout the day. I also use brine shrimp during breeding season. The difference in fry growth is dramatic. For newborn fry, called Hiro in Japanese, I give parmesan. Once they grow a bit, I switch the brine shrimp or Daphnia. For breeding adults, I sometimes give live food alongside dry pellets to boost their energy for spawning. Finally, the most important thing to remember is the balance with water quality. No matter how good the food is, overfeeding will foul the water. And once water quality goes down, problems like low oxygen or ammonia poisoning can occur, which can be fatal. That's why it's so important to control the feeding amount and check for leftovers each time. Honestly, when I first started, I often thought maybe I should give them more, they look hungry. But over time, I learned that a little less than enough is usually just right. Along with feeding, don't forget the basics. Regular water changes, filter maintenance, and good tank management. This is true not just for Medaka, but all for fish. So, to recap today's point, Medaka don't have a stomach, so feed small amounts several times a day. Adults do best with floating pellets. Fry need very fine food or powder feed. Live food like Daphnia and brine shrimp are excellent for growth and breeding. And most importantly, avoid overfeeding to protect water quality. Feeding isn't just about keeping Medaka alive. It's a key part of leaving them healthy and strong. And it's also a wonderful chance to observe their behavior and enjoy their personalities. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you enjoy your Medaka even more. See you again in the next video.